Hey everyone, we're TowawayCouple. I'm Tom, the driver.
And I'm Bunny, the hookup girl.
I thought you were going to say something else. I mean, I'm looking over here. If you stood up in a Zoom meeting right now, you'd probably get fired from your job.
But on this channel, who knows?
Right. Is she wearing pants or not?
Hey, I'm in my own apartment.
So today we're going to talk. Today we're going to talk about shuttle driving.
Yes, so many people think it's us against them mentality.
Well, people actually respect the shuttle drivers.
They need to.
Well, they do. Because those shuttle drivers help when they're in the yards. Okay, so we've helped now 3 times. We've been helping do shuttles from the manufacturer to the transfer lots where we pick up and we do our dispatches. And we were asked if we would help out, and we offered to help out. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, when you pay those $35 to $42 pull-in fees, pull-out fees, depending on the company, whatever they're called, at first I was just like, really? That's just cheesy. That's just really cheesy. And a lot of people think the company should pay for that. And the company does pay for that. You just happen to pay them back.
Right.
So with that said, we think every new driver for any company should be required, and I know some people are like, mind your own business, shut up, but be required to do at least one night of shuttles or one weekend of shuttles. Because you get a better understanding of the trailers, you get a better understanding of the different types of trailers, mm-hmm. and how the whole back-end process works. Because people see, when they go to get a dispatch, they go pick up a trailer that's there, keys are most likely already in them, and the paperwork's already in them, and they're ready to go.
And if you start at the right time of the month, they're all nicely lined up in great order. Yes.
And then you might, if they're really busy, they might have 2 inches from the next trailer.
Yeah.
But
where you can't barely slide through.
Right. But other than that, you should be able to walk between the trailers.
Yeah.
Now, what you should be here's something that we didn't know. We would go to get dispatched, we'd go pick up our trailer, and we noticed that some of the trailers were tilted down and some were tilted flat and others were tilted up. And we could never understand why the difference, because when we get there, we always got the one that's already pointed down, and we're sitting there letting it either crank up or do whatever. Well, there's a couple different types of shuttle drivers. You get the cool shuttle drivers that have this hydraulic ball hitch, and they literally back in, they got a camera back there, they hit a button just like Repo Guy, and they literally connect up, they flip the clasps down on the hitch, and they book. And they drop it, and they unhook it, and they lower down their hydraulic hitch. They never touch the jack at all.
No.
All right, those are cool hitches. I was talking to one shuttle driver, and he said used, those hitches are about $3,000. But it takes up the whole backside of your truck, too.
But when that's all you're doing.
But if that's all you're doing, it's definitely worth it, because you can really pump out the trailers. People like us, we don't care if the trailer's level or up or down at that point, because we're only taking it a couple miles. So typically I'll put my ball at one of the lower settings, and then that way I only got to crank up so much, back in and lower it, and then go. So when you see trailers in the yard pointed down level or pointed up, it's because you either got a true shuttle driver, or you got someone like me and Bunny who is doing it to help out, and you're getting it more your hitch height.
Right. Now, what you don't see are the ones that are coming straight from the manufacturers into those yards. They're not even hooked. They're just literally dropping them and dragging them and going.
Yeah.
So when we're picking them up, there's like this much clearance between
Yeah,
the
they're
ground.
like 5 inches clearance from the hitch to the ground.
Right.
So with that said, people say, how much money is there? There are actual different fees. It depends on where you're picking it up and where you're dropping it off. So we can actually tell you, we picked up a bunch of them from Grand Design.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally a mile or 3/4 of a mile from Middlebury, Indiana yard, because other people will be watching this. So giving you Indiana. Those trailers pay $17. It takes roughly 5 minutes to get from the Grand Design yard to the Middlebury yard. Find a spot, unhook it, and then a couple minutes back, hook up. So maybe 10, 15 minutes per trailer.
Correct.
If you want to, and if you really want to go slow, 20 minutes. That's a long time. Middlebury Jayco to Middlebury Yard is a little over 8 miles. Those trailers pay $32 each. It doesn't matter if they're the little tiny 10-foot trailers. Those little tiny boxes.
The ones that you put behind your Jeep.
The ones, or your little Celica. To the 30-foot are the fifth wheels. It doesn't matter. They all pay $32 because I think they go by time.
Yeah,
Not even so much miles, but based on time. And then you got from Middlebury Jayco. Let's go the Winnebago. The Winnebago yard was probably about 5 miles away from Middlebury. That trailer paid $25. I think I have to go back and look, but it was between $23 and $25. And then from Middlebury Jayco to Indiana's Elkhart South Yard, which is right at the 20 and Napanee.
Not too far from the DAC, from Indiana's.
It's 17 miles. And that one pays $47. Now, a couple things that if you're working for Indiana or going to go to work for Indiana, I don't know about the like Horizon or Bennett or Wave or any of those, but if you're doing that, going from Middlebury Jayco to Middlebury Yard in the morning is a breeze, and late at night is a breeze.
Yes.
In the evening, when you got people going home, it could be pretty treacherous. I mean, time consuming. And then there's always cops, and I say cops, law enforcement. I'm not saying it in a negative sense. Police officers, but they're always watching the road. And it goes from 45 to 35, and in the school zone 25. And usually if the school zone is flashing, you can be assured there's going to be a police car somewhere in that vicinity. And then usually in the 35 mile an hour zone, which is a couple miles long, there you can typically see one along that route. Mm-hmm. But during rush hour, which is like, 3:30, 3 to 5:30, 6 o'clock, it's just bumper to bumper, slow and go. So we like to do the south yard during that time, especially during that time, because it's just, you come out, you make a left, and you're on the 20.
You're on the 20, yeah.
Basically, you just run it all the way down, and it's 45 on the slowest, 65 on the fastest. So 17 miles, while it's twice as far and pays only like a third more than Middlebury, you're just constantly driving. You're not stop and go, stop and go, stop and go.
And also, too, when you're running to the Middlebury yard, you're going straight through the town of Middlebury. So now you've also got the Amish carts there, too. So now you got to try to get around.
If you get behind an Amish cart, you're stuck for a while. I mean, some of the Amish will pull over. One pulled over to the left. And Bunny's like, what's he doing? I said, I don't know, but I'm going around.
He waved us around, though. I was like, okay. Well.
I didn't see that, but I went around him. So The one thing that I will say, this is our third time shuttling, and the 3 times combined, we probably made about $1,800, $1,900. It's not a lot of money, but you don't have a pull-out fee to pay. That helps. But
and you get to be at home. Well, home. You get to be somewhere in your own bed that night.
you get to be home that night, maybe at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, depending on how late you want to drive. But literally, there's hundreds and hundreds of trailers that have to be shuttled at the end of the month. And here we were just shuttling on Friday night in the middle of the month on the 17th. And there were just hundreds and hundreds. They were asking drivers who were dispatched as they came in to pick up their dispatch if they would hold off on their dispatch and come help shuttle trailers. And a lot of them did. One guy did 2 trailers, another couple, how many did they do?
I think they did 4 or 5.
4 or 5. So, and you know what? Anything helped out, and they all got a good understanding.
Right, because you know, a lot of people, they want to complain like at month end that there's too many trailers. I had to move a trailer to get mine out. Da 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 da. There is reasons why they're like that. I mean, it is just so fast.
It's a very fast-paced, and it's kind of cool. It's like a little testosterone. You book in there, you hook up. It's a race to the exit with 20 other trucks trying to get to that exit at the same time.
And it's pretty funny when you kind of all get in sync with each other.
Yes, and you see the same people constantly as you go through. And we met a lot of great people doing it. So, yeah, no, I suggest shuttling. I think shuttling is a great thing.
I just give a shout out to the shuttle drivers because they do have quite an interesting and sometimes difficult job. I mean, you got to wedge those trailers into some tight spaces, let me tell you.
And not only that, when you go to, and I know a lot of your BOLs say NA for row number and everything, because they all say Middlebury, because that's technically where they're originally supposed to go mostly. But if they go to the South Yard as shuttling, there is a way to change it from Middlebury to South Yard and put a row number on there. And unfortunately, some drivers don't comprehend or understand it, so they still leave it at Middlebury, but they put the correct row number in the South Yard. But, you know, what happens is we come in there and we're given a stack of 3 to 5 trailers at a time. And when you get that, it literally has a trailer number, and then it has either dealership or Indiana Transport. If it has dealership / Indiana Transport, it could be at one of 2 different yards. It could be where you get your paperwork, or it could be a half a mile across the road over by Ace Hardware in Middlebury. We don't know. We don't know until we start looking. Now, keep in mind, this lot is like a mile long and quarter mile wide, full of trailers, and you got to go up and down each row looking for your trailer. And if you don't find it, you go up and down a second time just to make sure. Then you go over to the other yard. Then if you find that, then you take it. What me and Bunny will do is each row is marked with a row number at the end of the row. We get 5 dispatches for those trailers. We will go up and down every single row looking for our trailers. And as we find them, we write down on a piece of paper the serial number of the trailer and the row number that it's on. So that way when we do, because if we're going to go look for 1, we might as well look for 5. And then we hook on to the last trailer and then book and then come back to we know what row, we know approximately where the trailer is. We hook and book, hook and book, hook and book. And then we go get more paperwork from Jeremy and everything. And I got to say, hey, thanks to Cabe and Jeremy for, they you know what? It's their job to do what they do, but that's a lot of stress with people like us asking 50 billion questions. And it's not just you guys calling and asking where your trailer is. We're asking a bunch of questions because we're learning something new.
Right. Now, this was, like I said, the 3rd time for us doing it, and we're starting to learn the process, so it makes it a little easier each time you do it.
Yeah, and, you know, we won't mind helping out doing shuttles and everything. The one thing that it will do is I will recommend these 2 things. One is if you're going to shuttle over a weekend, and you got a lot of drivers in a month, let's just say in a month, there's probably going to be 40, 50 drivers pushing trailers. It's a dust bowl.
Yeah, it is.
Change your air filter out after that. Secondly is shuttling trailers, you're going to go through your brakes. I literally went 2 full years without, my brakes looked brand new when I went to switch them out because we're constantly freeway driving. Shuttling 3 times, I went through a set of brakes. So just understand that there's a lot of stop and go.
Right.
And your exhaust brake's not going to slow you down when you're only doing 20 miles an hour.
And it's funny because the first time we did it, somebody said, I like to do it, but it's really hard on your truck. And you don't realize it until, after you've done it a few times.
Exactly. So anyway, try the shuttle service. Like I said, I think all the companies should have all new drivers do it. It would be a great test because to show experience on if they can back up without running into other trailers.
But would it be a good test?
It would be a great test. But I think everyone should do it just to get a full grasp of what's all involved. Mm-hmm. And when you pay that $40 pull-out fee or pull-in fee, you get a better understanding and a more of a respect of, while we went and picked up the trailer, the first trailer could have taken us a long time to find, take down there, place, put the paperwork in it to head back. And we got to take pictures of it. We have to put it in an app, and then we have to text that we dropped it off, what row, what yard. So there's a lot of extra steps.
Right, absolutely.
Than just hooking and booking, dropping and going again. So anyway, you got anything else?
No.
All right, so until next time.
We'll see you down the road.
We'll see you down the road.